Welcome back. You're watching World Talks, and I'm your host, Klaudia Czerwińska. A sign of a growing fondness and increased cooperation between Poland and Norway, or business as usual. On Wednesday, Crown Prince Haakon of Norway is on a visit to the Polish capital, and he will sign the Memorandum of Understanding for the 2021-2028 funding period. This is Prince Haakon's third visit to Poland, with his first in 2005 and the second in 2011. During his visit in Warsaw, the prince is going to meet with the Polish President Andrzej Duda and Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz to take a better look at the visit and what it could mean for the bilateral relations. Joining me now is Jakub Godzimirski, research professor at the Norwegian Institute of International Affairs.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for joining. So Prince Haakon's visit marks third time in Poland, but this visit seems to carry a particularly strategic tone. From your perspective, what are the overarching goals of this visit in today's geopolitical and economic context?
Of course, this visit takes place in a given situation. We have a war going on in Ukraine, where both Norway and Poland have decided to provide support to Ukraine. So this is most probably going to be one of the key topics, not least because Norway has provided some military help to Poland to provide for a higher level of security in this at this Jastrzębie airport, where Norway has deployed its air defense systems and jet fighters to somehow secure the deployment of help to Ukraine. So this is going to be a topic, but we also have to understand that this visit is one of many visits that have taken place between Norway and Poland, and there are at least three dimensions of this relationship that are going to be discussed. The humanitarian people-to-people dimension. There are more than 100,000 Polish citizens living in Norway, which is an important topic in bilateral relations. Then there is this economic dimension of this cooperation, and then there is this security defense-related topics that are also going to be touched upon during this visit in Warsaw.
So during this visit, we're looking at a very diverse delegation, from royalty to government ministers and business leaders. What sort of message is Norway actually hoping to send through this high-level engagement with Poland?
Poland, Norwegian authorities have some years ago published a document that was called at the time Poland Strategy, which outlined the goals, objectives, and instruments that were to lead to improving and widening of the bilateral cooperation between Poland and Norway. So Poland is very high on the Norwegian political agenda for various reasons, but today the question of cooperation in the field of security is definitely on the top of the agenda, and this also explains why this delegation includes also not only the Crown Prince but also some representatives of the most important Norwegian ministries. Ministry of Defense is represented by the State Secretary, and Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries is also represented by a State Secretary. And why those two ministries? The Ministry of Trade and Industry and Fisheries is represented because Poland is the #1 market for supplies of Norwegian seafood. So this is very important. But this Ministry of Trade and Industry is also there because Norway has a well-developed defense industry, and this industry is also one of the backbones of this bilateral cooperation. So this explains also why the representatives of this ministry are in this delegation. In addition to Prince Haakon, also Minister of Foreign Affairs of Norway is a part of this delegation, and they are going to discuss various aspects of bilateral but also multilateral relations where Poland and Norway have some stakes.
So, the signing of the 2021-2028 EEA Norway Grants Memorandum of Understanding, something that I mentioned before, is definitely a central point of this visit. How do you think this agreement is going to support not just economic development, but shared values between Poland and Norway? What are we to see? Is this, as I mentioned, business as usual, or we're moving even more forward?
Norway is about to transfer or make available approximately 1 billion euro for Poland. And there are three topics that are defined as the most important ones in this round of EEA cooperation. It's about green energy transition. It is about supporting the development of democracy and human rights in Poland. And the last issue is about societal resilience and humanitarian issues. So this is really explains what this money is going to be spent on, and this provides many opportunities to various types of Polish actors to have some economic support provided by Norway in order to address some of the issues that both Norwegian and Polish authorities have defined as the most important topics to cooperate on.
This may seem like a very simple question, but I suppose some of our viewers might have that question lingering at the back of their heads as well. Why does Norway give so much money out to places such as Poland? I mean, Poland is entitled to 925 million euro in the fourth edition of the fund's allocation. Why is Norway giving out the money?
This has something to do with the special arrangements that shapes Norway's relations with the European Union. Norway has twice rejected the membership of the European Union in referenda, and but Norway has somehow developed another type of relationship with the EU through this so-called European Economic Area Cooperation. And in order to buy access to the European market, which is very important for Norway, most of Norway's trade is with the countries of European Union. So Norway decided to spend some money on helping the countries in the European Union to somehow deal with some practical and social and economic issues. And this EEA framework that regulates cooperation between Norway and those countries in the European Union that receive Norwegian help is a way of buying influence in the European Union. Although it has many dimensions. A lot of money from this EEA grants, for instance, have been spent on supporting cultural life, but also during the previous government in Poland, also a lot of focus was on democracy and social inclusion and human rights. So this is an important economic but also political instrument that the Norwegian authorities have in order to shape cooperation with various types of countries, including Poland.
So we spoke about why Norway is giving out the money and how is it being used, but what's in it for Norway?
Norway is very interested in having a good image, and this issue of image by providing support to important projects, it's also a way of improving Norway's international image, but it's also about creating framework for improving various forms of cooperation at the state level, at the level of local authorities, and also at the level of people to people. There are thousands of Poles who came to Norway within the framework of those EEA grants, thousands of Norwegians who are involved in various types of cooperation projects with the Polish partners. So this really shapes the space of bilateral cooperation, and it helps countries and parties learn more about each other. So this is both an economic instrument, political instrument, but it's also a very important way of making the societies better understand their own concerns and problems.
We know that Prince Haakon and the representatives from Norway are going to meet with the Polish president as well as the defense minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz. We know that there's going to be a panel discussion held, Polish-Norwegian cooperation in security and defense. What can the two countries do in order to enhance allied deterrence and industrial capabilities of both bilaterally?
There are two important developments that have taken place over the past years. Poland is one of the key customers of the Norwegian defense industry. The Norwegian defense industry has provided Poland with naval strike missiles, which are to help Poland secure its coastline towards the Baltic Sea. On the other hand, Norway has also purchased several hundreds or even thousands of Polish-produced air defense systems, Piorun. So this is a very good and practical illustration of this interest in improving security cooperation. We also have to understand that both Poland and Norway are about to purchase relatively many F-35 jet fighters from the United States. So this is also most probably something that is going to be an element of this defense cooperation. And then both Poland and Norway have an ambition to increase the level of industrial production that would increase the level of national deterrence. And we, both Norway and Poland, face one important security-related challenge or even threat, that's Russia. Norway has 198-kilometer long border with Russia. Poland has 2010-kilometer long border with Russia, and Russia is definitely something that shapes both Polish and Norwegian thinking about security. So I expect that the question of how to deal with Russia is also going to be very high on the list of topics to be discussed by this delegation in Poland.
Thank you so much, Jakub Godzimirski, research professor at the Norwegian Institute of International Affairs. Thank you so much for all those details and sharing them with us.
Thank you.
And so this would be all for now here on World Talks, but please do stay tuned. We're back in just a moment with more news and features.